Welcome to Arabesque. Today we are at the BFI at South Bank in beautiful London. As part of the Arab Cinema Strand, the British Film Institute is showing a strand of Arab cinema that has never been shown before here in the UK. Tonight we are watching Richard III, an Arab VIP.
Basically, I was getting bored of business, so I was like a groupie for artists and filmmakers and theater makers, and I never really thought about getting into it, but the opportunity came when Sulaiman Bassam was making his tour of his play Richard III, an Arab tragedy, all over the world. And we just were talking, chatting, and he opened up the subject that this should be documented. It's an Arabic play of Richard, and it is the first time ever an Arabic play is going to be performed at the Stratford-upon-Avon in England and in Paris and Amsterdam, and somebody should document that. So I said, well, I'll do it. So Richard III was all about a dictator that comes to power through all kinds of bloodbaths and conniving and things like that. So it was through that we, actually Sulaiman made the play and we made the documentary before even the Arab Spring started. So when we actually put on the first screening, everybody thought that we already knew. No, we didn't. This was the way that the Arab world was in at the time, and it comes out in the documentary and it comes out in the play that this is the situation. And this was the thing, the turmoil that the Arab world and the conflicts that are, the contradictions that's in the Arab world, the beauty of it and the ugly part of it. And this was the situation that we wanted to show in the documentary. Because it was a very difficult thing to put together. There's a lot of nuances in it and a lot of symbolism in the film itself that we needed to get out, and we couldn't shoot again. That was it. So we had to work with what we have. And Mahmoud did a fantastic job. There was one show that it was going to be performed in Sharjah, and it was outdoors, and it poured with rain that day, poured over the equipment, over the seating, so the performance was canceled. And so they couldn't even perform the next day. So what they did, they actually did a performance completely different way inside a room that they invited people into. And it was, in my opinion, it was one of the best performances of all of them, in a small room that they just sat, the actors and the actresses sat on the side, and they just came into the square, did their part, and they left the square and sat down on the side. It was a beautiful play. So there were challenges, but they were, I think, the actors and the director, they did a great job of overcoming and even taking advantage of these, hardships. For me, this film has got two different types of audience. It's the Western audience and it's an Arabic audience. And they will take different things out of it, in my opinion. The Arabic audience will be affected far more than the Western audience out of it, because they know the background. They know the nuances of the situation in the Arab world a lot better. So I hope that they will come out with it with, okay, we have enjoyed this film. It's really talks to us and it is true about us, and let's see if we can change it. A Western audience, I think, I would hope that they would be more educated about the nuances and the complexities that there are in the Middle East, and the challenges that the people there, us, go through on a daily basis. I learned that it is not an easy thing to make a film, but I have learned a lot, and I have made a lot of friends. And me being a groupie at that time, it's even worse now. I love artists. I like to be around them. I think they are special type of people. And it has added a lot to my life, to tell you the truth. And I have continued now. I dedicate the rest of my life, I call it the third stage of my life, just to making films now.
أنا أقرأ التاريخ وأرى.
Shakir said, look, I'm a businessman, but I'm interested in filmmaking. And I want to learn about filmmaking. And the way I want to start doing that is to make a film about Suleiman's new, or this touring play that he's got, which is Richard III. And would you come and work with me to make this film? So if you come on board essentially as a director, and at the same time that you're making this film with me, you'd be teaching me as well. I've always been absolutely fascinated by aspects of the Middle East, the cultural, social side, but also the politics. One of the things that strikes me from a filmmaking point of view is when you're working in the Middle East, what can you say and what can you show? So I was well aware of some of the issues at stake, if you will. But also I liked the trajectory of the story, which was, the way Shakir put it to me was that, look, we're going to go on the road with the theatre company. They're going to go to the Emirates and they're going to be going to Washington. And the idea is, in a sense, that we're going to document that journey, but we're also going to document the journey of individual actors. So that would involve going to Beirut, going to Damascus and Syria, and one or two other countries. So he wanted to make a film from the acting perspective, as well as from the point of view of what happens when this play is on tour in very different, playing to very different audiences. This film, for me, I think by and large, what you see is it has an honesty to it. It has a truthfulness about it, about what people think, what they have to say, and how they feel. And also some of the scenes in it, you know, there are moments of absolute chaos, and I would say farce, in the film. And I think these things are all sort of, to me, they contain the truth about what I experience in the Middle East. It's a film that, it may sound pretentious, but it's trying to hold a mirror up to society, really. And get people to reflect back on how they think and how they feel about what they're part of, and the politics, really.